Hello, Bronco fans and football fans alike. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown, Friday, May 21st, 2021. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Let's get right into some news. I got a lot of Bronco news on this one. A lot of Bronco news. And some of the news that isn't Bronco news is also related to Bronco news. So that's why it's called Bronco Breakdown, guys. It's basically focused on the Broncos. I do bring in the Avalanche, of course. I do bring in other topics, whether it be baseball or things off the field that for other teams. But primarily it's about the Denver Broncos. So let's start right away with a former Denver Bronco by the name of Tim Tebow. Now, Tim Tebow was a Denver Bronco quarterback, and he was skeptical at best. I mean, he didn't have the greatest throwing ability, but he had heart, and the guy is a winner. Well, Tim Tebow is back in the NFL. Congratulations to Tim Tebow. He was signed to a one-year contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars as their tight end. It's official. I know I mentioned this a couple of videos ago that there was speculation that he would be given a contract. Well, it's official. He's been given that contract by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's going to be wearing number 85 as a tight end. I tell you what, I'm beyond thrilled that he's back in the NFL. The guy has energy. The guy has passion. He has a drive to win. And I just love that about Tebow. I know that he wasn't the greatest quarterback when he was with the Broncos, but he had heart, and he won a lot of games because of that. In fact, that miracle game in the playoffs against the Steelers, when he threw for 316 yards and that winning touchdown on the first play of overtime, I'll never forget that play. Welcome back to the NFL, Tebow. Can't wait to see you in week 2. I know it's in Jacksonville, but I still can't wait to watch that game. Hope everybody watches. It's going to be exciting game to see Tim Tebow. I hope he does well. Hope we win that game, of course, but I hope Tebow does well. All right, let's go to some other Bronco news that is a first time. Klein. Now, Klein has become the first or highest female in scouting in the history of the NFL. She joins the Denver Broncos as are you ready for this? Their executive director of football operations and special advisor to the general manager, George Peyton. Now, wasn't that John Elway's title? When John Elway retired and he got the position of executive director of football operations. I wonder where Elway is. No mention. Haven't heard from him in quite a while. There was mention, though, that Elway was on a golf course in California with Aaron Rodgers, but that was speculation. That hasn't really been confirmed. So maybe Elway's out there in the outskirts trying to recruit. Maybe he's just playing golf. Who knows? But that's very, very interesting that Klein is now the executive director of football operations and special advisor to George Peyton. There's also other ties to George Peyton. Yeah, you guessed it, guys. She comes to Denver from the Minnesota Vikings. She was their scouting director. So George Peyton is bringing over people from the Vikings to be on the Broncos. And of course he is. He's a general manager. That's what you do. You surround yourself with familiar people. And that's exactly what you do. But congratulations to Klein. I'm happy that she got that position. I hope she excels in that position, obviously. But welcome aboard and welcome to the Denver Broncos. Now, let's move on to Pat Tillman. Now, there is a petition from change.org. That's change.org. That's a website that wants the NFL to retire Pat Tillman's number 40 across the league. Much like what they did for Jackie Robinson in baseball, where they retired the number 42 across the league. Well, this particular website, change.org, they want to get a petition with enough people signed so that they can get the NFL or pressure the NFL or force them, however you want to say it. They want to get the NFL to retire the number 40 across the board. Now, in case you don't remember Pat Tillman, but after September 11th, 2001, the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the Flight 93 that crashed in Pennsylvania, Pat Tillman played for the Arizona Cardinals. And he was so moved by that terrorist attack on our country that he joined the military. And he was eventually killed in Afghanistan. That's why this particular website wants that number retired. And you know what, guys? I have to agree. I have to totally agree to do that. Not because Pat Tillman decided to go into the military, but why he decided to go in the military. To fight for this country. Because he was going to put the country before himself, before sports, before football. He put this country first. And I think it's only right that the NFL retires the number 40, and every team in the league has number 40 retired with the name Pat Tillman underneath. It's only fitting, guys. I know a lot of guys have played in the NFL. A lot of guys have died and whatnot. But Pat Tillman left a promising career in the NFL to serve his country. I think it's only right. Okay, let's move on to the rest is all Bronco news except for the Avalanche when I finish up. And if you notice, I am wearing the Avalanche jersey, the Avalanche hat, and you'll know why at the end of this video. All right, let's go to Denver Broncos have announced that they're going to be holding a joint practice with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I mentioned last video that the Broncos are playing the Vikings in their very first preseason game. Well, they're also holding joint practices with the Vikings. And I have to believe that that was set up by George Peyton. And that's all well and good. I think it's a great thing, especially going into the first preseason game, since there's only 3 preseasons this year, because we have a 17-game schedule. Now, where are those practices going to be held? Are they going to be held at Dove Valley? Are they going to be held in Minnesota? Because that's where the first preseason game is. It's in Minnesota. So is it going to be held there? I don't know. Could it be at a neutral site? I kind of doubt it, because why go to a neutral site? They're not going to have the workout equipment. They're not going to have the familiarity of an NFL stadium. So I have to believe it's going to be in Minnesota. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But I think it's ironic, and I think it's a great move by George Payton to have these two teams scrimmage and work out against each other. I think it's great. I think it's great for the camaraderie. Like I mentioned in my last video, that the first preseason is going to be like a homecoming for some former Bronco people, some former Viking people. And so it's gonna be great. It's a great move by George Payton to not totally break ties with the Vikings or break ties with the Broncos, as in some players that and some people that are on the Vikings now. So I think it's a good move. Really do think it's a good move. Okay, now according to the NFL, and now NFL has a schedule of strength that they come out and they post every year. Now, according to the NFL's schedule of strength, the Broncos have the 6th easiest schedule in the entire league. Now, there's 5 teams below them that have weaker schedules according to win-loss records of their opponents. One team that I'm going to mention really surprises me for being below the Broncos as having an easier schedule. So here are the 5 teams in order of being below the Broncos. Now, the Broncos are the 6th easiest. The number 5th easiest is the Miami Dolphins. Number 4th easiest, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champions. 3rd easiest, Atlanta Falcons. 2nd easiest, Dallas Cowboys. And the easiest schedule is the Philadelphia Eagles. Tampa Bay is easier than the Broncos schedule? Wow. I'd sure like, you know what? I'm going to have to research and find out what their schedule looks like. Because that is amazing that the Super Bowl champions of last year, who completely shut down the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, would have the 4th easiest schedule in the league? Wow. All I can say is either that's due to, the teams in their division, or obviously it's against teams in their division and whatnot, but it sure looks like the NFL loves Tom Brady. And of course they do. He's Tom Brady. I mean, the NFL loves this guy. But I'm still shocked that they have the 4th easiest schedule in the NFL. Wow. All right, let's go to Peyton Manning. Now, this is interesting. Excuse me, guys. This is interesting. Peyton Manning told TMZ that even though he changed teams from the Colts and went to the Broncos late in his career, he hopes that Aaron Rodgers doesn't do the same thing. He said, and I quote, "When he," meaning Peyton Manning, "when he thinks of Aaron, I think of him as a Green Bay Packer. Hopefully they can work this out." End quote. Peyton, come on, man. You were a Denver Bronco. You won the division 4 years in a row. You went to 2 Super Bowls. You won 1 with Denver. And now you don't want Aaron Rodgers to have that same type of success? Really? Well, guess what? Everybody viewed you as a Colt. Everybody viewed you as an Indianapolis Colt quarterback. Just like everybody thought of Tom Brady as a Patriot. Or Brett Favre as a Packer, and he goes to the Vikings. Or Joe Montana as a 49er and goes to the Chiefs. So why not Aaron Rodgers going to Denver? Manning, I thought you were on our side. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a Green Bay Packer, just like John Elway's a Denver Bronco. Or, I don't know, name somebody else that's a legend. Kind of hard because they move around. I get that. But if Rodgers isn't happy in Green Bay, we can make him happy in Denver, buddy. Peyton, you're something else, man. I like it. I love you. You're great. I love your humor. I love your football skills. I love the fact you came to Denver and won Super Bowl. I don't agree with this one. I think we need Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to Jeff Driscoll. Now, Jeff Driscoll, the former Bronco backup quarterback, Jeff Driscoll, has signed with the Houston Texans on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. Now, he left Denver so that they can make room for another player. And Jeff Driscoll wasn't going to be in the mix with Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock. That wasn't going to happen. So why not move him on to Houston? Now, it seems to me that the Houston Texans are loading up on quarterbacks because they have no idea what's going to happen with Watson. Now, I get that. Why would you want to keep a cancer like Watson on your team when you don't know what's going to happen? I mean, do you start? Do you, if Watson is on there and there's still legal proceedings and he's cleared to play, do you put him in the game? Well, Houston will, of course. That's their franchise quarterback. What I'm saying, guys, is do you keep that distraction around? Well, Houston has no plans to trade Deshaun Watson, just like the Packers have no desire to trade Aaron Rodgers. So there's two teams in the league right now that really have a quarterback that they don't even know if they're going to play for the same team. So that's why the Texans took a chance and signed Jeff Driscoll, because at least he's a veteran. At least he knows the game. And he can step in at a moment's notice. May not do as well as Watson. Doesn't have the skill package as Watson has. But still, he's not a rookie. He's not just going to come in raw and not know how to handle or manage the game. So I understand that. Now let's go to Damian Willis. Now Damian Willis is going to replace the recently released Deshaun Hamilton. Now Deshaun Hamilton, as you know, tore his ACL. So Hamilton is out for the year. Now the Broncos have not really officially released him to any team. What they've done is they put him on injured reserve. But basically, he's released from the standpoint of he's done for the year. So the Broncos have signed Damian Willis. Now, Damian Willis is a 23-year-old undrafted free agent that was signed by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2019. He's now a free agent, and the Broncos snatched him up right away. Now, at age 23, he has a lot of upside. So the Broncos are hoping that he can step in and fill the shoes of Deshaun Hamilton and be that third or fourth wide receiver. Now, remember, we have Courtland Sutton coming back from his ACL tear last year, and we also have Jerry Jeudy. So if Damian Willis can fit right in along with some draft picks that we got, we're going to have a very, very loaded receiving corps. And again, that's why I say we need somebody like Aaron Rodgers who can give him the ball. I'm hoping that Drew Lock can step up, or Teddy Bridgewater can fill the gap, because there's no excuse, guys. We have the weapons. We absolutely have the weapons on offense. We have receivers. We have a running back. We have an offensive line now that can protect the quarterback. So there's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse, except for a poor performance at quarterback. Let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, let's get to Melvin Gordon. Now, Melvin Gordon, last year, he kind of struggled the first 11, 12 games of the season, and then towards the end of the season, he really came on. And he really pushed to get that 1,000-yard rushing season. Fell short by several yards. And so that is really motivating him for this year, 2021. Now, Melvin Gordon has publicly said that 2021 is going to be his year for new heights as a Bronco running back. He said he's motivated to be that bruising back that he knows he can be and what the Denver Broncos want him to be. He also wants to remain in the Denver uniform and on the Denver Bronco team after his contract expires at the end of 2021 season. I want him to be a Denver Bronco as well. I mean, the guy can play well. He has to play hard. He has to play with heart. And it seems like last year, excuse me, guys, still getting over this cough. It seems like last year that because the backfield was split between Gordon and Lindsey, he really didn't seem to get going until Lindsey was pretty much benched the last 4 or 5 games of season. Then he really came on, and he really showed what he can do. Now, he wants to prove that he's the number one running back. And he should be. He's the veteran. Sure, we have a running back we brought in on a draft. I agree that we need 2 running backs. But because Gordon is a veteran and seasoned veteran and played for the Broncos last year, he needs to be the number one back. And if he's as motivated as he says he is, and he goes out and performs like that, Denver could be a surprise team this year, guys. I know, Drew Lock, I can't stand the way he plays. I really can't. He's streaky. But if somehow, some way, working out with Peyton Manning in the offseason like he said he did, and like Manning said he did, with this team and this defense and this offensive core at wide receiver, tight end, and running back. The only missing key, or the only thing I can't put my finger on and say that it's absolutely concrete, is the quarterback situation. Other than that, guys, the Broncos look solid. Now, like I said in my last video, yeah, I believe every year we can go undefeated. But I also don't think that's going to happen, obviously. So I said last video, my prediction, if you want to see it, go back to last video, please, and watch it, and you'll hear what I have to say. But with this team, on any given Sunday, if we have a quarterback that can play the game and see the field and work and manage the game, anything can happen, guys. We can win. Anyways, go back and watch that video if you want to see my prediction. Okay, now that wraps it up for this particular video. Now I'm going to move into the last segment, which is the Colorado Avalanche. Guys, I got the hat on like I showed earlier. I got the jersey. Colorado Avalanche entered the first round of the playoffs as the #1 seed. They played host to the 2019 Stanley Cup champions, the St. Louis Blues. They won both those games by a score of 4-1 in Game 1 and 6-3 in Game 2. Now, 6-3 produced a hat trick by Nathan MacKinnon. Now, Nathan MacKinnon is coming on strong, guys. And if Nathan MacKinnon can stay healthy throughout the entire playoffs, he is the catalyst on this team. So tonight, beginning at 6:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Mountain time, the Colorado Avalanche are in St. Louis for Game 3 of the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Go Avalanche. Take down St. Louis. Let's make this a 3-0 lead in a best-of-7. Let's get them. Let's take them down. I know it's going to be hostile in St. Louis. I know that they're going to be angry and they're going to be frustrated. They're going to come out and hit hard. They're probably going to take some cheap shots. But Colorado, you guys can do it. All right, guys. That's it. Go Avalanche. Take down the Blues. And let's go up 3-0. That's it. That's all I got. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Go Avalanche. And we'll talk to you next Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.